Okay, now let's talk about getting ready to use the AxiDraw machine to draw something. You'll need some paper. You'll need your pens that you want to use. You've got this base with some magnets, and you have the AxiDraw machine. The first thing we want to do is make sure that the AxiDraw machine is located at its home position. So you can just slide these things forward and backwards. We want to move them as far back as possible. We want to move it as far to the left as possible. As long as the AxiDraw is not engaged, these should move pretty easily. If you're feeling some resistance, do not try to force the machine. Next, we need to get our paper and our pen in the right position. So let's do that. We've got some paper. We want the paper to be aligned so that the edge of the paper is in the corner of the base. And let's put on some magnets so that the paper stays in place while it is drawing. It's probably best to have a magnet in all the corners so that the paper doesn't move when the AxiDraw is moving. The next thing we have to do is make sure that the pen is in the right position on the piece of paper. We want to make sure the pen starts in the home position, which is in the very far corner of this paper. We should also make sure that the piece of paper, that the base and the piece of paper are lined up perfectly with the AxiDraw machine. You should see that there's a constant width here between the base and the machine. This is looking like it might work, but we'll need to adjust the height of the pen, and we'll need to adjust the location where the pen hits the paper. To do that, we need to go back over to the computer. We're here at the computer, and we want to make sure that when we tell the computer to draw our diagram, the pen and the paper are lined up correctly. So for this, we need to head over to the Extensions menu and open AxiDraw Control. Okay, so this menu does a number of different things, including setup. So in this setup, do not touch these numbers. Do not touch the number 30, do not touch the number 60. So you can see here there's this button that says cycle pen down then up. When you push the apply button, it will move the pen down then up. So you can see if the height of the pen is correct and if the location of the pen is correct. I'm going to push this button, and it's giving me an error. This error says low voltage detected. Check that the power supply is plugged in. So now I head over back to the AxiDraw to figure out what's not right here. And I see that there is a power switch that says on and off. So I'm going to click the on button, and hopefully now the AxiDraw will be plugged in and will accept the information. Okay, I'll say okay, and then I will push it again. Apply. And you see that the machine will move down and then up. You'll also notice that the pen did not touch the paper when it went down then up. So that's telling me that I need to adjust this pen, turn this knob a little bit. I'm going to move it down. How far down do I need to move it? I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to try to move it like this, and let's see what happens when I do that. Now I'm going to push the apply button again, down, up, and you can see that the pen this time did touch the paper. It touched it in a place that's not exactly the corner. So I'm going to move the base over a little. I'm not moving the pen, I'm moving the base. I move the base over a little bit. I go down, then up, and that looks pretty good. Now we've got the pen in the right position. We've got the AxiDraw in the right position, and we're ready to have the machine go and draw the artwork. So let's go back to the computer and see what we do there. I think we're ready to go to the plot menu. When I click the apply button, that's going to start the machine. I'm going to move the camera over to the AxiDraw and click the apply button. Okay, here goes the apply button. You can see the machine is redoing each of these paths that were in the file. You can also see that there's some little places here. There's a small line that came across when the pen went up and traveled, but it still left the line. That's because the paper is a little bit higher, and it's because the pen may be a bit too low. All right, you can see when it's done, the pen goes back to where it started. And if I wanted to make this perfect, I'd probably want to adjust this pen up a tiny, tiny bit so that this didn't happen, or find a way to attach this paper so that it's flatter in that area. So, congratulations, you've made your first drawing on the AxiDraw machine.